Welcome everybody to Beyond the Credits. I'm your host Nick DiLorenzo. We got a great show for you today. We have some winners here from CMF. We're going to be recapping the Oscars, so you don't want to go anywhere. Stay tuned. So I was at the CMF event, and I saw your short film, and it blew me away, and I'm not just catering to because you guys are on the show. I thought it was brilliant. So we have, again, just to clarify, we had audio issues. We have David, and we have Nick, and we have, I'm so sorry, once again.
Angela.
Angela, yeah. Okay. I keep thinking that's your last name. All right. Can we get the logo back up on the TV? Okay. Anyway, so let me just start with at the beginning. How did you guys meet? Like, have you worked on projects in the past, or?
We've been working together for a couple of years now. At least me and Angelo. We recently met Nick in kind of a freak accident.
Yeah, I met David in a parking garage. His car was broken down, and I was filming something for my YouTube channel, and we met that way. And then he introduced me to Angelo,
and from there we all kind of.
Oh, that sounds like destiny at its finest.
Yeah, it really was.
So, so you have 7 days, correct? Right, to kind of write, shoot, edit, kind of prepare and send it off.
You can write before the 7 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when did this?
Production and post-production is in the 7 days.
Okay. All right. Oh, gotcha. So when did the writing begin? Like, when did the idea get? When was the conception?
Well, like the week before school started, we had all these ideas from the whole break, and we just kind of like sat down. We had like a few ideas for like a Herald, kind of like this improv type of film, and then he had this other idea for this like night from the past coming to the future, but we all just kind of exactly. And we all just kind of collaborated, cut certain ideas, and then we started thinking about this like improv show that goes wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, do all of you have a background in improv, or is it?
I mostly have the background in improv.
Okay.
I've been for about 5-6 years now. So.
Okay, because you're the president of the Improv Academy.
Yes.
All right, very cool.
That heavily influenced a lot of the writing.
Okay, so the idea kind of came based upon, I'm guessing, experiences from.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, very cool. So the idea is kind of throwing that around, and then at what point? So you settled on that. How long did it take to actually write? Like, what was the was there a lot of drafts you had to go through, or?
We only went through like two drafts. I think
we sat down and wrote a full one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we sent it to like just a couple close people, and they just gave us a few notes.
Yeah.
So now, because one of the things that stood out to me was the cinematography, which I believe you're the director of photography.
Mm-hmm.
Looked great, by the way.
Thanks.
I don't know if we have a clip or not, but there's a point where it begins basically in black and white, and the audience doesn't necessarily know where you're going with it. If it's, there we go. There. And so it kind of starts out as like maybe is this like a detective, like is it like a homage to those films of past, and then it brilliantly cuts to it's a reveal that it's actually just an improv show, which I thought was very clever. And then from there you kind of bounce around to these different like improv scenes. Improv scenes. So like so the through line obviously is your character kind of. It's the day that I didn't even. It's called The Day Comedy Died, right? Yeah. Cleverly titled. So how did was that from the beginning, that kind of idea of?
Yeah, so we had like the improv show idea, but we wanted to start off in that noir scene, kind of in a way tricking the audience that, oh, is this just like a typical like black and white film that we're gonna see? And then we slowly added little elements like he was smoking a cigarette, just like a casual noir scene, but then Jeffrey pulls out like a vape. And you see that like change in reality. Yeah. And then we switched to the improv show, which is like different. We try to make the different scenes have their own style of camera work. For instance, the improv show looked more live and stuff, while the noir scene was more like on tripods.
Yeah, we wanted to see how many different atmospheres we could create with all the individual scenes, like the noir scene, the heist scene, versus like just the regular improv show. See how like diverse of a film we can make it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and especially at some point it starts cutting pretty quickly in between. So how did you decide on the scenes that you wanted to cut to?
That was tough. Yeah. That was really tough because we had a lot of really good ideas. We also had a lot of really bad ideas. So it was a lot of trial and error and just seeing like what we all agreed was like the best route to go. Stuff like.
We would kind of like write the scenes too, and we would start to realize that this scene's a little more meatier. So because I think that the date scene we were gonna do in like the quick the quick cuts, but we realized that has so much in it, we should put it, you know, kind of like in the middle. So as we wrote it, we kind of figured out what worked where as well.
Yeah, and then the end result, was that kind of what the final draft looked like, or was there some rearranging and editing? Because you all three helped edit. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So we had a more extended cut that we wanted to go for, but it didn't really like add to the feel that like the film was going for, and we had to cut it also due to time and stuff like that.
It was only 40 seconds more.
Yeah.
What got cut? Was it like a sequence, or
it was another portion in the like the quick changes between the improv scenes, and it was. When was it after? It was after.
It's after the birth scene.
Yeah. So once the clown started getting traction with like he started controlling all the improv scenes, me and Jeffrey made like one final attempt to like gain control of the improv show again. So we cut to a park bench, and you know, it's a real quick jump where Nick just overpowers us as the clown. And
great performance, by the way.
Thanks.
So how did the clown come to be? Like, how did you decide on like it's going to be a clown that's going to be actually very appropriately shown there?
We were trying to come up with like what does this person keep doing in the shows? Like, I know we talked about like Michael Scott in The Office. He always comes out with like the fake gun in the improv scenes. Or should we have the person come out and he's like really over the top dramatic? And I don't know how.
Yeah, because we had it set that we wanted you know, like 2 experienced improvisers and then 1 new person that maybe is, you know, messing up the improv show. And when we were spitballing ideas, we had this idea of like a suburban family, a mother and a father, and they're talking about their kid, and then the kid comes out and he's just a clown. And we thought that idea was funny, and so we just were like, okay, well, what if he comes in as a clown every single time, and it's just annoying and not funny at all?
I had a full clown costume
at
my
just
apartment, and I just walked out, and we were like, yeah, we got to go with this.
Yeah, another thing I noticed, especially when you started with the detective scene, like there's props and there's costuming involved, and it was very well done and detailed. How did like all that come to be? Because you have a short period of time to
Goodwill.
Make it
Goodwill and a lot of luck.
Yeah,
a lot of things fell into place.
A couple friends pitched in some stuff, like the vape. And
what was the hardest thing to find?
Oh.
He did not want to wear a fedora for the film noir scene.
Like I was, it just didn't like. I didn't think it looked good on me. I didn't think it. I thought it was gonna just be more weird than noir-y. But
I think it worked really well.
Yeah,
I think it was a good choice to leave it.
We were in Goodwill, and I was trying on like the lingerie in the middle of the
that
store.
was fun. Yeah,
someone comes up to me.
We had
like,
some old women from the Goodwill come and judge the outfits for us. Yeah, that was good.
So Goodwill helped out a lot.
Yeah.
So shout out to Goodwill. Thanks for providing the costumes. What was the hardest thing to shoot, like actually, like on the day?
I seen because the janitor got a little.
Oh,
that's right.
We were filming after hours in the music building for the heist scene where they were like these Russian gang or mobsters or whatever. But since it was after hours and there was a janitor walking around, he kept like walking in and out, and we weren't sure like whether or not we should be there. But I mean, it all worked out. I thought it looked good. I thought,
So that's another good point, because a lot of these is a student production, so you kind of have to like make do with locations and such. Was it hard to nail down locations? Did you get kicked out of anywhere? Like, how did you find where you were going to shoot?
We didn't have many issues with like once we were there, we were pretty much good to go. But we did have some ideas. Like for the final scene, we ended up going to the Arboretum. Our original idea was a parking garage at the airport. We had some shots beforehand where we thought the scene was going to come out really well if we used it there, but then we realized that one of the characters has a gun, and bringing it to an airport was probably not the best idea.
Not the best timing.
Pulling up with big duffel bags full of equipment.
Again, smart decision. I think you went with the right.
I think we did.
We actually have a live comment. Jordan asks, were there any deleted scenes that were particularly notable?
Yeah, definitely the park bench scene. We put a lot of work into it, but it's hard to cut out.
And you can watch the deleted scene actually if you go on YouTube. You could type in "The Day Comedy Died" behind the scenes, and the first thing in that video is that deleted scene.
Yeah.
And you can find it there.
He actually also asks, did any of the stuff, like ideas that maybe got either cut or just didn't end up getting in the script, is there stuff you might be saving for a future short film, or ideas you might be utilizing somewhere else?
Yeah, absolutely. We whenever we spitball ideas, we always like, oh, that's really funny. It might not work in this film, but we can use it
in your
later
back
down
pocket,
the line.
kind of.
Yeah, and so we put it on our scrapbook and then hopefully come back to it later.
So how long was you had, in that week's time? How much of that was dedicated to pre-production, production, and then editing? Like, were you down to the wire?
Yeah. Well, we had everything prepared the week before, like all the screenplay. We had the storyboard.
Most of the props.
Yeah, most of the props. So then when the week started, we just had all the actors get there on a certain time. We positioned the cameras wherever we needed, and then we just kept going and going and going until we had the right.
We finished Friday. That way we had the weekend to do all our editing.
Yeah, so I think it was Tuesday through Friday was the filming, and then the rest was just editing.
Exactly.
Yeah. How was it like a tedious process? Like, I mean, I know editing can be a bit daunting. Like, was it a little more difficult than you had expected, or?
I honestly thought it was really fun because like the film itself was so funny, and every single time we would place like a new clip, it would just like, I don't know, we'd keep laughing and changing it up and stuff, and I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was a long process, especially because like the transitions in between like the improv scenes and like the actual improv show. So we had to like tune it down to a hair, but so that was very tedious, but we made it through, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and just to clarify, I mean, all seem very humble, but it did win the jury award, and then also winner for best story. So congratulations to you guys. I mean, well deserved. And we actually have one more comment from Jordan. He wants to know quickly, where would you like to go, like career-wise? Like, is this short film just more of a hobby and you just kind of had fun with it, or would you like to see yourself, pursue a career in the industry?
I'm personally full on trying to get into the industry, directing or writing comedy. Personally.
Yeah, for me, I would love to be a director and screenwriter and make it to like either like indie or Hollywood stuff, and hopefully have a production company and get an Oscar one day. Of course.
Yeah, and I'm in the same boat. I really want to get into writing and acting. So we all work well together because we all have different.
Great stepping stone in the right. I mean, definitely going in the right direction. It's David, Angelo, and Nick, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And congratulations once again. When we come back, we're going to be recapping the Oscars. We're going to have a new set of panelists, so stay tuned for that.